Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's SIIA Tech Chat. I am joined today by Mark Selinger, VP of Customer Success at Exago. Exago provides an embedded business intelligence solution. Mark, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Rihanna. It's my pleasure.
Let's jump right in. When looking at BI tools, what are some of the key things companies should look for when evaluating BI tools for themselves?
Sure, it's a great question. There's a lot of BI vendors out there, and different solutions are good based on different needs. So I think the first thing is, what kind of company are you? For Exago, we work for the most part with application software providers and enterprises that have internally developed applications. So, that's a little bit of specific, but you need to know your business objectives. What are you really trying to accomplish? What are your data sources? Is your data structured or unstructured? Do you have a data warehouse? So there's all kinds of business types of questions that need to be answered so you really know what you're trying to look for. And then even getting down a bit deeper from a technical perspective, what are you trying to accomplish? Do you want an embedded solution that just looks like your own application? Or you just have a few users and a desktop version is going to be fine for you and what you're trying to accomplish. So I think, just understanding really from a business perspective what you're trying to accomplish will help you narrow down to maybe more of a manageable vendor list.
Yes, well, talking about that vendor list, and you mentioned how many BI tools and solutions are out there. The BI market itself, I think, is projected to reach almost 27 billion in 2021. How do you see the BI market evolving in the next 5 years to achieve that kind of growth?
Sure. And I think kind of going right in hand with the growth of the SIIA, we, again, work a lot with application software companies. And if you look at the SaaS market itself, that's growing tremendously as well. I think Gartner's expecting that to be over 112 billion just by 2019. So, look a few more years out to that, and of course, that will grow further on. So when we look at that, I think a number of things pop out. You often hear the term self-service these days with BI solutions, and really all that means is that an end user can use an application now, not a developer. As BI tools continue to evolve, that's really a key focus, right? Having the average user be able to actually use an application and not have to call up a developer and wait for them to do something with the code before they can actually provide reports. So that's one channel that's really expanding and will continue to do so. The embedded market as well is really growing, and I think that continues to grow as more and more SaaS companies need to provide that reporting and business intelligence experience to their clients. And so not only with a traditional SaaS company, but an enterprise. If you look at, say, GE and a commercial today, right, they look at themselves as a software company. So most organizations are software companies, have software applications, and have different BI tools that will continue to grow. And that just is going to keep going. As we look more at the feature set, collaboration tools, the ability to quickly share a report or a dashboard, to comment on them, to tell people, what they're looking at and help them understand it. That's an area that's really growing. And then if you look a little further down the line, this whole idea of natural language queries, where I can actually speak into my phone and kind of like you're, saying, okay, Google now, tell me something. That whole ability to do that through a business intelligence tool right within an application. So those are probably, what we see, the real main growth drivers that will continue over the next 5 years. I think, again, just ease of use, right? We need to have tools that a user can actually use. And if they're good enough, they probably don't even know they're using a BI tool. They're just kind of getting the information they need.
Exactly, especially in today's customer-driven world that we live in.
Right.
Speaking of that, companies are actually investing more and more in customer success. And as a customer success leader yourself, how have you developed a customer-focused approach to ensure the success of your customers is a priority within your company?
Great. For Exago, it was really easy because our CEO is a very hands-on guy. He came from the application software space. And I think application software providers are a little bit different than maybe some other companies. And we really need to create a true partnership approach with them. We have to understand how software companies function, how their release cycles go, what their challenges are. And so everybody within our company really learns that as part of an onboarding. In fact, most of the people that join our company come from software companies themselves. So they really understand that dynamic there of what's involved, in a release cycle and a product roadmap and everything else. Um, as equally important to that is every employee is expected to be kind of their own CEO, so they can make decisions right away. Where there's not a long chain of command that things have to go through to make things happen. So we know that when a customer calls, that's really important. That needs to be a priority. We have to help them out, and minimally get back to them and let them know kind of status checks of what's going on. Um, from a customer success perspective, what we've actually done is really established everything from the evaluation process right on through an onboarding and then into kind of a typical customer life cycle. So we have a very hands-on approach throughout all of these. And as a company becomes a client, we then have a quarterly review process with them. So we understand what their short-term objectives are, what their longer-term objectives are, and continue that conversation loop to kind of stay on track. Um, in addition, one more thing, we have a client advisory board, which is around 20 clients or so. It fluctuates every now and again, but these are people that are really power users of our application. And we look to them for quite a bit of feedback on how they're using the application today, where they see the kind of future direction going as software companies themselves. And we help them understand where our roadmap is going and just kind of really communicating what our plans are so they know and they can plan amongst their own release cycles.
How do you think that BI tools can help deliver a better customer experience?
Well, that's a great question, and it's really all about understanding, right, your customer and understanding the data as it comes down to it. So, the better the BI tools are, and at Exago, we actually, we use our own application to report off a number of our external tools that we use. So, our CRM application, our knowledge base, our ticketing system. We've got a nice dashboard that when, for example, our support team walks in the morning, they can see how many open cases there are, what kind of priority levels there are. Our customer success team can see a nice account profile of a client and see if they have support cases opened, kind of all the different things that are going on. Another thing is really understanding the metrics of how people are using our application. So, a BI tool can help you to see how not only our customer, but their customers are using the application. What report designers are they using? How often are they clicking on something? So all these different kinds of metrics, really help provide information back to the business. And based on that, we can do things like figure out which parts of the application maybe get used more than others. And maybe we need to put focus on different parts because of the feedback we get. So BI tools are just, fantastic in providing that real-time information to help you make decisions.
So before I let you go, Mark, what makes Exago unique?
I think again, kind of going back to the culture, as everyone believes and thinks of themselves as a CEO, it gives you a real empowerment to help the client, and that's our ultimate goal. Is as a software company, we understand the software business, we understand how important we are, the partnership between us and our clients, and you just always it helps you see the real business value there, and establishing a nice partnership and a nice relationship. Really, our clients become our friends for the most part, and I think that makes going to work every day, really enjoyable.
That's fantastic. Mark, thank you so much for your time and insights today. For more information on Exago and SIA, please visit our websites, and we will see you next week on SIA Tech Chat.